Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Wholesale and Retail Network webinar, How to Plan for the Rising Tide of the Multi-Channel Retail. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. We've taken a screenshot of an example attendee interface. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to today's presenter by typing your questions into the Q&A area at the bottom of the screen to the right. You may send in your questions at any time. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. I would now like to introduce our moderator for today, Bill Black.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's Vistage Wholesale and Retail Network webinar. Our presentation today is with our speaker, Seher Gattas, who is the founder and chief revenue officer of Flawless Inbound. With over 25 years of business and technology experience, Seher oversees the professional services and operations aspects of the company. His recipe for success: a team of A+ talents, a growth mindset, and lots of endurance. His recipe, since the founding of Flawless Inbound in 2014, Seher and team have worked with 120 plus B2B organizations everywhere from 10 million to 200 million in revenue, bringing true digital transformation to their day-to-day operations and pushing them on their journey to growth. It's my pleasure to welcome him as our speaker today. Seher, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you, everybody, Vistage members, for spending this 1 hour with us today. So we are going to cover a lot of things today, so please make sure you have your tea, coffee, and your notes as well as we're going through this presentation. We'll definitely focus on a lot of aspects, but as Bill said, we had the pleasure of learning from a lot of Vistage members over the last few years. I'm a Vistage member myself, and I'm part of multiple networks. And we did help a lot of Vistage clients over the last few years and kind of just doing digital transformation. So here's the real question of why we're here today and what we're trying to do. I would like to share with you some of the playbooks and best practices when it comes to wholesale, retail, distribution, and share with you some of my learnings that me and my team, we have done with other wholesale and retail distribution network, especially around aspects of e-commerce, enhancing the user experience, and how can we work on the back-end business processes that maybe as founders, CEO, and executives in your organization, maybe you're trying to see how can you bring some efficiency in those operations. I'm also going to share with you, if you guys see some names here I'm sharing in the bottom of my slides, those are wholesaler distribution in North America and globally. So I'll share with you some of the learning that I got from them as well, and what they're doing internally in their operation. So this is exactly the agenda that we're going to go through today. High-level introduction. We'll start with something called the 6th dimension of frictionless commerce. We'll go through that. Then from there, we'll jump into the basic foundation of direct-to-consumer kind of buyer's journey, how it really works from a technology, from a process, and maybe if you have some pieces of those technology components, how can you enhance and optimize them? And then we'll go deeper into retail. And what would the retail of the future look like, especially post-COVID and post-pandemic? Is the buyer journey is changing? What kind of technology should we account for there? And then I'll close the session by a case study and something we call inside of Flawless Inbound the flywheel, or the unified customer experience blueprint. Please, as the team said, if there's any questions, just make sure you have them in the Q&A channel, and the team will be helping in covering all of those. So regardless to say, we understand 2020 forced a lot of new behaviors for consumer, even for online shoppers, for retailers, for everyone, not just in the US, worldwide. So one of the key things I want to start sharing with you right now is the 6 component that you need to be focused on 100% when you start thinking about your consumer. Now, please understand that in my slides, I might be pointing to the term consumer and commerce, but in some of you guys attending today, this might be another business that you're selling through or selling to. So we did work with clients who are wholesale distribution, who sell through a retailer who sells to a consumer. We did also work with businesses who are B2B, not B2C, they sell through a distribution center, and the distribution centers sell to businesses directly or sell to resellers. So the blueprint that I'm going to share with you today can be applied in those different business models as well. So let's start. First, let's focus on the 6th dimension of frictionless commerce. And this is something we have seen day in and day out over the last few months. And I'll be honest, especially over the last year as well, 2020 and 2021. Multi-channel alignment, not multi-channel enablement. There's a big difference. See, when I speak about multi-channel enablement, you're saying, okay, I can have an e-commerce with Amazon distribution center. I can maybe have one on my website, and maybe I can have other distribution channel. But the real question is, do you have alignment between those channels or not? So when you start thinking about aligning those channels, this is now where you can bring better customer experience. But that's the first thing that we will discuss today, and hopefully share with you some of the blueprints we have seen and we help other clients do. The second thing is secure transactions, online and offline. So this will be very critical. And I get it that security sometimes can be from COVID perspective, that maybe some of our consumers, maybe some of them might not be encouraged to go back and shop in a retail kind of physical fashion. How can we capture those consumers? And then the other thing is shopping online. Is it truly secure? And what can we do about it? The third thing is ease of access, design and navigation. It's one of the most critical things moving forward in where we are stepping into this new economy. Either you're B2B or B2C, or maybe sometimes you have a group of your sales rep who are moved to inbound selling, and how can they help your consumer to pick the right products online, or maybe build products online and sell them online to your other distribution channel. Do you have the right design access to make it easier for your team and for your resellers to pick the right SKU, the right part number, and maybe the right pricing strategy? Number 4, personalization. Everybody knows what personalization means. But what's critical for me here when I start thinking about personalization is, do you have in your system a model that can remind you of a persona style of shopping? Or do you know, for example, if I came to your website, either buying a small piece of machine or an add-on component to the piece of machine I'm buying, or products and services, do you remember what I bought from you last month? Can you influence some campaigns so that I can buy more from you? Do you have a strategy for cross-selling and upselling? Because you know, I usually come each month and buy those components or those kind of volume from you. Positive friction. How can I add better touch points with my clients or my consumer, or maybe some of my best resellers, while I'm building my multi-commerce channel platform? The final thing, of course, is customer services, customer experience, and do I have an NPS, a Net Promoter Score system, that can measure exactly how are they moving, how are they maneuvering on my website? Did I ship on time? Was the product okay? Was there a quick NPS or survey that would trigger immediately as soon as the product hit either their workplace or their home or the place where they want to pick from the product? So before I go further, my first homework to everybody on the call today, make sure that you capture that slide, those 6 components. This is from a very high level perspective. This is what we have seen as successful wholesale distribution resellers are actually doing right now, and retailers as well, to ensure that you have recurring revenue from either consumer, which is direct to consumer practice, or from resellers or distribution channels as well. Which would then bring us to the first pull question. I hope you guys took notes of that. So the first pull question is, where do you think you are right now? Or what's the biggest challenge right now out of those 6 components? Is it fulfillment? Is it multi-channel alignment? Secure payments? Easy access to your distribution channel network? Personalization? Positive friction? And hopefully subscription model, meaning maybe you need to figure out programs to bring those retailers or consumers back into your online or retail store. Where is this model aligned? So just take a quick minute, just give us some feedback, because that will help me in my focus when I'm presenting to you guys as well. Perfect. Thank you. I can see you guys are doing the poll, so that's good. So again, why this question is very critical? Because it's also critical for you as a leader when you go back to your organization to say, team, in the next 90 days, this is where we need to focus. This is our quick win, so that we can go back and we can grow by whatever percentage, of 10, 20, 50%, maybe 120% in some scenarios, to be able to capture more market share and achieve kind of better alignment with our business models. Great. So I think we can share the poll here. So that's actually good. You guys have seen the results here. I can see that almost 31% are saying fulfillment multi-channel, 38% are saying actually personalization. So that's interesting to know that that's kind of the focus of things. And the good news is we will actually focus on that during our session today as well. Now, before I move forward, just want to say we will actually do one thing. We actually have a tool. It's an online tool. Feel free to use it when time is right for you. I think Jennifer will add it on the chat. It's a tool. It's an online tool that we created that can help you actually grade your organization from where you are from those 6 channels and more. So just feel free to go there when you have the time, and your team can go have the time to do this kind of online valuation as well. Okay, so there are, before we step into the next level, so we spoke about the 6 basic frictionless multi-channel model that you need to think of. Before we step forward, let's be honest here. There are 4 core components that you always need to have in your technology or in your e-commerce or personalization or multi-fulfillment. Sourcing is critical for you. Do you now have the right dashboard to see which suppliers are bringing you your products online on time with the right pricing model so that you can make a better profit? What vendors? What kind of relationship? Maybe you have the tier 1 vendor, tier 2 vendor, tier 3 vendor. Do you have a dashboard to manage that for you right now? The second thing is fulfillment. In your own operation right now, are you confident, or do you have a platform at least that can project that you can deliver on time, hopefully, and at some point in time, match or exceed customer expectation? Orders. Can you see your orders, even if it's coming from a multi-channel? Do you still have a single dashboard on the back end to be able to see your orders in one place? And warehousing. Do you have a proper warehousing solution to do that? Why I'm asking this before I go deeper with my slides, because in the past, when I ask usually founders and CEOs those questions, they usually say, this is a multi-million-dollar project for me even to figure out how can I bring those components together. The good news with COVID, with vendors, with a lot of client and technology working with, this can be a 100K, a 200K project for you, and you can bring automation and digital transformation into your operation in less than 6 months to have components like this operating in your environment. So definitely we've seen, even from vendors, technology vendors, that their pricing is being adjusted because they really want to capture market share. And there's a lot of their pricing have been optimized because of COVID situations and things like that. Great. So we did the introduction. We shared for you, just from a high level, what are the 6 dimensions of a frictionless commerce. Let's now go deeper into how can you visualize a business process from a direct-to-consumer approach. I'm going to share with you 3 blueprints that we have seen that are working with our clients and with people that we work with, learn from, and consulted with. And then, of course, from there, we're going to share with you the retail experience and the flywheel. So let's go with this. This is usually what we, even as consumers, when we're buying something from Amazon, this is usually what we see. The feedback. For the most part, packages came in, they came well packed, no dent. I'm happy with the packing. It's actually arrived on time, or sometimes even before the estimated delivery time. And I was able to take a picture, or the delivery guy was able to take a picture, send it to me, and I can see it on the website and everything. That's kind of a consumer expectation now, thanks to Amazon and other platforms. So the real question now I'm asking the audience today, can you do that on your own website? Even with if you're part of the Amazon distribution centers or not, can you actually do that on your own business, in your own business, on your own website? And I'm hoping that the answer is yes, because this is the blueprint. This is the first blueprint I'm going to share with everybody today. This is the process that we helped build. At least 70 to 80% of your processes should fall into that blueprint. We call it the pick, pack, and ship process. Why I'm sharing this with some of you guys, it might be relevant, for some it might not, but you need to understand that there's something happening here on the back end. It's not just a fancy website and a fancy e-commerce that make it happen, but there's a business process that need to be hopefully connected as I'm sharing with you guys here today. And hopefully this business process have an ERP solution that then can feed to your e-commerce platform. So this is, for example, a process, we call it pick, pack, and ship. Your warehouse manager or director, that division, that team, need to have visibility into three core things. First, when the order come in, can you fulfill or not? Did the vendor, let's say maybe you are having essential assembly, or maybe you're a wholesale distribution. Do you have visibility, immediate, online, almost near real time visibility into, do you have those products in your warehouse or not? Or do you need to do an order? And then the second thing is, if no, then do you have the ability through a process to automatically notify the client and adjust their expectation of delivery time? If yes, tell me more about your pick, pack, and ship process. Do you have one or not? Maybe you have, and it's okay to tell me, Sarah, by the way, yeah, I have it. Somebody's walking on the floor with a printed Excel sheet in a paper, or I have it through a pad or a scanner. That's okay. That's good. My next question is, and is that one connected to your full warehousing solution that's then connected online with your e-commerce solution, which is then connected with your financial backend or not? If it's not, that's okay, but you need to be aware that if you're scaling up, that might be an internal friction in your operation. If it's yes, let's go through a process that we have seen that's working perfectly for our clients. So the first thing, your guy, your girl will first pick this product from a shelf or from somewhere because they're preparing it to be shipped to the client. We call it the pick process. First, is it ready to even be picked, or does it need a little bit of assembly? Second, if this person is going to pick it from your inventory house, can you, on the fly, print something called a print picking ticket so that you would know from a warehouse management solution that there is no error, you're error pruned, there's no discrepancy into how much is in inventory versus how much was really sold versus how much was defaulted. And then when I pick it, now I need to maybe, hopefully, put a sticker on and say I'm ready to pack it. Why packing is critical? Because maybe you want to be more efficient. And maybe when you're packing, you want to pack group of orders in one pack, not one by one. So do you have AI or intelligent logic to say, can I pack everything and ship them on time or not? And then after packing, are you ready to ship? Do you have a packing slip and do you have a shipping slip and so on? So again, without going into details, you guys will get the recording here, but this will be the first back-end process. You need to take this process, go back to your team and say, how many of that are we doing manual? How many of that are we doing, are we having our warehouse manager at least touch 3 or 4 different technology stack or software? And then from there, how are those technology stack working together? Are we writing APIs? And what will happen if one software did a software upgrade or a problem? How would that affect my operation? That's very critical to be able to reach the next level and be truly competitive in the marketplace. Let's go to the next, user experience and personalization. This is the feedback we got from consumers. Before COVID, online shopping was convenient, totally get it. But now it's like even going to a physical store sometimes make me uncomfortable. Now, I want you to take this feedback and then apply it either you're a B2B or a B2C environment. So now imagine your salespeople who are selling to other businesses. Maybe right now they were used to kind of, booking them going for events and things like that and kind of building relationship with them. Can you replicate this this kind of relationship online? Can they maintain and sell through distance and be able to maintain revenue from that perspective or not? And while doing all of that, is your digital transformation platform, your ERP solution, your warehouse management, everything, is it connected or not? So this is the second blueprint that we have seen that is efficient, that is working with a lot of our clients, which is maybe right now you have a manual entry process, and that is okay. Maybe you are having a legacy warehouse management solution or a CRM that's not connected to your ERP or connected to your warehouse management, and that's still okay. At least you have a CSV file, you import it in your system. But where things are going is maybe you started building an e-commerce platform, or maybe you're using some marketplaces like Amazon Distribution Center or other distribution centers where they use an EDI process to be able to streamline the orders. Maybe you have some retail stores with point of sale solution in those retail stores. Here's my question to you right now. Are they all connected to a single backend? How much time is your managers in each and every location are spending time to just do consolidation or do the magic of Excel sheets consolidation, things like that? And how much of that time are you paying for that maybe they should be doing other things and helping in improving either the top line revenue or efficiency through net profit and EBITDA? And from that perspective, whatever entry they're doing, manual, CSV, e-commerce, marketplace like Amazon, other places, or point of sale like retail, from that perspective, do you have everything now in a single dashboard where you can see all the order list? From that perspective, my next question is, do you have an automated approval workflow? Because maybe your pricing strategy might be completely different if somebody's buying one piece of product from you versus 10, versus they're buying thousands from you on a weekly or a monthly basis. Can you apply this pricing strategy from one place, and can it reflect on all your location, all your stores? And from that perspective, after you approve this pricing strategy, is it connected with your fulfillment blueprint that I shared with the previous slide? Do you know exactly what's in store? Do you know when to invoice the client if it's fulfilled or not? And can you collect the payment online or maybe in different ways? So this is the second playbook that we're suggesting, that if you are speaking about truly digital transformation, personalization, and fulfillment and alignment between multi-channel, this is where your leadership team need to focus. Not how the e-commerce will look like, that's actually the easy part. But the back-end process, we believe this is where your leadership team and your strategists need to focus. And definitely we can help with some of that too. Okay. The next thing is, I heard from you loud and clear, 38% of your poll said personalization is critical for us. Great. If personalization is critical, what are we doing to enhance the user experience online? Let's think about consumers, somebody who's doing shopping online. That's one swim lane that we can think of. But the other swim lane can be if you are selling through distribution channels, if you are selling through resellers. Are you making it easier for your reseller to go into a section on your website, see their own pricing that's not to the public, it's only to them, and can they build a complete bill of material and then use your platform to invoice or to write a proposal for their clients? So now you're actually measuring their businesses and how much business are they bringing to you. Not through old days by Excel sheets or a legacy ERP or an accounting platform that you have to export some files from, do some kind of business analysis, and then import it back. Do you have a single system that can do this or not? And by the way, there are a lot of systems right now that can do everything that I'm saying in one place and you can scale from. So this is the first thing when we start speaking about personalization. Do you have that? Is it in place or not? So now what I'm going to go through is quickly a sample of clients we have worked with and other clients who are using systems that are similar, where they were able to capture personalization day one on their website. They either B2B or B2C, mobile friendly or not. That's a given now. If you're still speaking about mobile friendly or not, then you went back to 10 years ago. It's given right now that all websites are mobile friendly. But can you build online stores that actually can maintain this, not on Amazon, but actually on your own website? And by the way, the question is always, is it one or the other or both? The answer is usually use the and, not an or. So even if you feel that Amazon is one of your highest distribution channel, which is usually the case, just be careful. You still need to maintain your own stream of revenue as well, just in case if something happened or Amazon decided to go one route or other. So I'm going to share with you guys now one client. So Mary Cheese, I'm sure some of you guys know about that. This client decided to build a full online experience to be able to do things. A couple of things that you will see in this experience. The first one is what's hot and what's new that was kind of made on the website. Of course, you would expect they will have a shopping cart. When you click on a shopping cart, I can see the products and the services. I can see immediately reviews on each product and services. I can actually search. And by the way, you can do geolocation search. So let's say if I'm going in from New York, maybe I only want to see products that you can ship to me in New York. I'm not interested in products that are shipping to me from, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia, or from California, or from other places, because I don't want to wait 2 or 3 days. I want something in the next 24, 48 hours. With newer ERP solutions that have a component of e-commerce, this is given, this is basics. So you can absolutely apply things like that there. As soon as I pick, again, this is just a sample, but imagine now you're selling a piece of equipment or you're selling, a piece of product or services. As soon as I do that, I want the ability to add to a shopping cart. But while I'm doing that, I want the system through AI and machine learning to suggest what other buyers were buying. And this can be an opportunity for me to add or increase the shopping cart for my consumer and hopefully add value to. So absolutely with platform, again, like NetSuite, like Microsoft Dynamics and others, you can absolutely build a model like that. It's not rocket science anymore, and it's not a multi-million-dollar project to be able to do something like that. As soon as I click on the shopping cart, I can view it or I can continue shopping, which is exactly the same experience that you personally experience when you are doing shopping on Amazon. Right now, what I'm saying here in this webinar, you absolutely can build that for your own business, for your own location. You can even program promo codes. And then while they're checking out, you can add more options of payment. Not even that, you can actually know if that's an existing customer or a new client. And as soon as they become a new client, you can plug them into an email drip campaign with personalization to things. And you can have a single platform that can do all of that. Here's another scenario of a client where actually we were able to go deeper into letting the client just choose how they want their product to be shipped. And even we were able to price instantly, depending on their location, when do they want the product to be delivered, the cost, if it's going FedEx, standard delivery, rush delivery, and so on. By the way, all of that, not using an Amazon engine, that's using a built-in engine with modules ready-made to be plugged into your business. So again, this is not rocket science. This is not a multi-million-dollar project. You can absolutely do that in your own environment. Okay, so what did we cover so far? First, we covered the 6th dimension of frictionless commerce. Then I shared with you a couple of scenarios or blueprints of how we would define direct-to-consumer experience. Or again, when I say consumer, just a reminder for everyone, I'm speaking about B2B and B2C. Let's go to the next one, which is, and how would if I'm in retail, or if part of my supply chain is I need to empower my retail stores to be able to do more, especially during that condition, what would the retail of the future look like to maintain those kind of experiences well while I'm building my back-end digital transformation? Let's go through that. So this is an experience that we have seen where, from a retailing perspective, it's convenient. I just want to go and pick my stuff, save time. I want to add grocery, for example, to my online shopping cart. Everybody heard about something called Instacart. So Instacart is a SaaS-based platform where I can do my own shopping. I can do it anywhere, US, Canada. I can even adjust my order before my shopping cart closed down. and I can see exactly whoever is picking for me my product, what do they have in the card in store, and I can even do personalization, things like that. So that's one aspect that you need to think of for, let's say, if part of your business model or go-to-market strategy that maybe you are outsourcing to retailers, you need to empower them with a model like that. Or if you are a retailer and you want to grow that experience, that is the next version of digital retail that we're looking for, or your consumer will be looking for. Now, the second thing is, how can I mix buying online but picking in store? That's the new trend that we have seen have been emerging for some time now, where I still want to pick in store because of whatever reason, because maybe I'm a consumer, I think that I'm saving money like this, maybe because maybe I just want to make sure I just, I'm coming from a different generation, different millennials versus X generation versus baby boomers, and maybe in your business model, your product and services are aligned for one demography versus the other, and you don't want to lose this demography, which is maybe 50 to 60% of your business, but still you want to be digital and online. So what I'm saying here in this webinar, that you can have the ability to mix the online experience and still the traditional kind of retailing experience by doing the order online, empowering them to do the order online, but still pick in store. This is a very basic blueprint that we have helped clients do, implement technology to be able to do that, where, think about it this way. Let's say you have an online kind of retail manager, and you can see how the traffic is coming from an omni-channel, if it's B2C or B2B. Maybe they're coming from Amazon, maybe they're coming from a mobile app that you start pushing into your retail. Maybe they're coming from a kiosk solution and they're doing the order. It doesn't matter from where they're coming because you have a centralized tracking system that can track everything. Then let's say if the customer came from a store, a location store, retail here. They go into a commerce platform, and then from there you can automatically create the fulfillment request, goes into an online store or point of contact. The item can be picked for them using machines or using somebody in store, like for example, the scenario of the Instacart. The Instacart scenario, we were able to reflect this back to the consumer. So the consumer through a mobile app or on your even web portal, they can see now that they're almost 80% in their shopping done, 90% done. Then before this person who's picking in the store right now, check out, we'll only send them one request, say, do you guys want to, Mr. Customer, do you want to change anything? Because so far, this is what we have seen. Maybe at that scenario, the consumer can say, can you substitute certain things? So you actually can have the ability to do that. And then from there, okay, it's now shipped, and we're sending it now to your home or to a near place that you can pick the shipment from. So this is very doable, and it should be in any ERP platform right now. Again, we've worked with some ERP platform like Microsoft, also NetSuite, Oracle actually have that all built in included as well. So that is something that if you are looking for a solution like that, that's very doable. And it's not like rocket science or you need to allocate gigantic budget to do. You can absolutely do that on your own system, on your own website, while you still have connections with the Amazon distribution centers and others. So you're not losing a channel, but there's a channel alignment that's happening. Okay, the next thing is the checkout process. Is it easy? Do I need to create accounts? Or do you guys know my accounts? Do you know my previous shopping experience? Do you know when do I do shopping and when do I not? What do I buy usually in the middle of the month versus the end of the month? That's basics. But now let's take it to the next level. Maybe for some resellers, they order like bigger quantities from your store and they want it shipped to a specific location. Or maybe you don't have stores there, but then you're encouraging them to drive somewhere for a pick, for a pick or a shipment as well. So, and when this truck arrives to that location, do you have a system to know exactly that the truck has arrived and there's actually, let's say, a $20,000 or $500,000 worth of inventory on that truck right now that's being handed over to my reseller or handed over to a consumer or something like that? Again, using using a holistic end-to-end platform, you can actually do that, and you can fulfill the payment online with that. So this is a blueprint where we design for one client with we call it a multi-location planning session or planning environment, where maybe you're doing some essential assembly. So you can call it manufacturing, essential manufacturing. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But then you own the distribution centers in the middle. And then either you're partnering with retail centers or you're doing the online. So with the enterprise class ERP solutions, you can actually measure and control the inventory, the whole business process from a manufacturing or essential assembly to a distribution line to a retail store, and you can even start preparing your retail store for next month's business, because now you can forecast from that environment as well, so that then you can hopefully guarantee delivery on time and with still the right pricing, because it will cost you less if you can forecast better. So again, the ability to plan for a multi-location is possible, either in a single plan or distribution plan. Have different warehouse versus wholesale distribution center retail is possible. And also being able to stack up and not to do any leftovers from retail locations, you can absolutely measure that model as well. So what I shared so far with everyone is a couple of blueprints of things you need to think of if you're thinking about the future of retail or an e-commerce or wholesale distribution. But let's be all honest here. We have seen that there are some barriers for you to think about even stepping into that place. Those are 4 barriers that we always have seen. Maybe order to inventory delay, that's kind of what you're facing right now. Maybe you need to enhance and personalize your consumer shopping experience. Maybe you're now, for some reason, you have multiple technologies and you're duct taping the integration together. Let me tell you what I mean by duct taping. Writing an API or building an SDK or relying on VPN to connect between different software. To me, that kind of was okay 5 years ago or 7 years ago. But right now, that can impose a gigantic problem for you in operation, because if one system is down or one system for some reason is updating a patch due to security, it might break all the connection with the other software components. And of course, the ongoing integration cost, and maybe you need to keep somebody on payroll who's expert in all those technology channels or technology components. So here is my next pull question for you, everyone. In the next 90 days, what do you feel can be a big challenge if you're embarking on a holistic, personalized, multi-fulfillment channel solution for you? Is it the ongoing integration cost? Is it, again, the integration with Amazon other distribution center? Is it the order and inventory visibility, or the shopping experience and enhancement? And again, thank you all for doing this poll quickly for me. It helps me to make sure I can focus better for you guys in the last part of my presentation today. I'm seeing so far 50% are saying order and inventory visibility, okay? And it's adjusting a little bit. But the reason why, again, those questions are very important, so that then, if there's any advice or something, I definitely can share with you. And please make sure you also use the Q&A if any of the questions are not answered while we're doing this right now as well. Okay, and I can see some saying ongoing integration cost, which makes sense. I can see that that's kind of what's really kind of happening as well right now. Okay, perfect. So in summary, I can see 43% of the audience today are saying order and inventory visibility is critical for us there. I can see 29% saying integration with Amazon distribution channels, share some of that with you. And of course, the shopping experiences at 21%. Ongoing integration costs 7%, means to me that maybe you have multiple technology stack as well. Okay, so when we start thinking of a model like this, you will see that our hope that at some point in time during your process, or us helping you to figure out the right technology platform or the right process even to start with, is try as much as you can to pick fewer systems that can do the following for you. A single system, either you're doing B2B or B2C. Now, what does that mean? when you think about B2B or B2C, I'm not just speaking about direct to consumer. I'm thinking about maybe you can sell direct, or you can sell through a reseller or retail or distribution center. That's my definition in this slide from a context perspective when I speak B2B or B2C. Ease of use, not only to your consumer, let's be honest, to your own team, your warehouse manager, your inventory manager, your online retailer, your sales team, your CFO. Are they dealing with different systems or one system? And hopefully agile and extensible, so it's connected with all your other business processes. It's real time or near real time. I'm okay with that, but don't tell me that it will take me another 2 to 3 weeks to close the book of business each month, or I need to do consolidation of Excel sheets, because we know now with technology, it's actually possible to be literally closing your book of business almost on daily basis. And you're focusing on days sales outstanding, and you want to reduce that too. And then the final thing is, here's the big question for everybody today on the call is, let's say if you're launching new products and services, let's say if you want to pivot quickly because competition start happening, how fast can you pivot? The faster time to market, TTM, is very important, because that will put some stress on the technology that you should pick if you're picking the right platform. And of course, at the end of the day, our hope is a lower total cost of ownership when all of this is happening. Great. So what I introduced to the team today is something called a unified customer experience. And the unified customer experience is, if you think about a flywheel, hopefully the customer is in the center, where you can, in a single platform or maximum 2 platforms, you can actually do everything that I said. So think about the e-commerce that I shared with you, the in-store, the marketing, the sales, and the server order management. Think about your financial reporting, account payable, account receivable, day sales outstanding. Think about the inventory management platform. All of this can be in one place. Think about the AI and the machine learning engine that can forecast my future behavior when I come back to your website, so that you can know exactly what I'm going to order next time, so that then you can stack properly for my orders. So then you can ship on time with the right price still, so that I can come back to you and not go to a competition. There are platforms that can deliver all of that. Let me rephrase this. Without extra customization, they come with modules that can be enabled for you, and whoever is delivering for you can simply configure those modules to match your business process. So just take a snapshot of that. I know some of you guys will get the recording too. We call this a unified customer experience, and there are platforms that can do that. This is another scenario where, we beside the Merit Cheese, actually there was another wholesale retailer. They do a lot of kind of chimney and kind of back-end kind of construction development. They were able to build a full ERP solution. Even they're selling B2B, they were able to build an e-commerce platform end-to-end with that model online. Feel free to check them out. Even go through the experience as if you're buying something from them. That's a full end-to-end single solution from the website back to the finance to the warehouse management, everything built by that platform. So now let's go deeper into, when we speak about hybrid commerce for wholesale retailer, how can we really do that? And how does it really works? So I'm going to share with you the concept of the 5 phases of a digital native channel and a multi-channel alignment that we usually do with a lot of wholesale retailer right now. We define those in 5 places. The established phase. Do you have the right foundation, the right technology layer? Or are you still dealing with different disparate systems that you need to write API for? We call this the established phase. Your financials, your accounting, your CRM, sales and marketing, your inventory management, and your warehouse management. Are they distributed in different technology platforms, or are they at least 70 to 80% of them are in the single place? We call this the establishment. Then the elevate phase, which is now let's build the front end e-commerce platform to connect with this back end. Then is the warehouse management component of this solution, can it truly have AI and machine learning? Can you build approval workflows in it? Can you adjust and optimize your pricing strategy from that perspective as well? Do you have the payroll even involved in that, in the financial management? Then we go to the expand, which is, Do you now have business insight? Can you truly forecast of how much is inventory, how much is it costing us for shipping and receiving? And when I say, can you truly forecast, I know you guys can right now, but how much time and effort do you and your leadership team need to take to be able to forecast? Do you have online dashboards you can see things from a single platform or not? That's what I meant to say. Can you do planning and budgeting? Can the system do planning and budgeting for you? Can you have budgeting version 1, 2, and 3, depending on scenarios? We call this advanced budgeting techniques, where you can place scenarios in your budget plan to see if this happens, my budget will look like this by Q2, Q3, versus if that happened, or I'll be ahead of the game and maybe I can have more net profit by year end. The accelerate phase is now your sales, your marketing, your warehouse management, your project management all in one place. And now you have a truly omni-channel, which is kind of a fancy word for multi-channel fulfillment and alignment. So they're yes, multi-channel, but you know what? They're connected together at the back end with a single platform. And then now, can I dominate my field, and can I truly be the disruptor in the marketplace to be able to go globally and apply a lot of AI and machine learning and business process into that? In summary, what I'm trying to say here, that's usually the phases of digital transformation that we have seen clients go through, or we help clients go through as a Vistage member as well. So that brings me to my third pull question for the day, which is, let's imagine now those phases that I shared with you. For you right now, how many piece of technology equipments that you guys are having that are able to apply maybe some of that? Is it less than 3? Is it less than 4? Is it less than 6? Or no, I have a different system. I have a CRM system. I have a warehouse management system. I have kind of a financial kind of system, but my CFO is not happy with it. He or she are wasting a lot of time there. Fulfillment, e-commerce, and marketing, they're completely on a different system. So just take your time and try to refocus on that to see how many systems do you really have in place right now. So let me just rephrase it one more time. Is your CRM system the same system like your warehouse management system? Is your CRM and warehouse management system is the same system like your financial system? Is your fulfillment engine in the back end the same system like all what I mentioned? And is your e-commerce system is part of the same core platform, or are they different vendors that you connected together? That is the question. Great. So thank you for doing that. And I can see now 44% said we have almost less than 3 systems. I want to say congratulations. You are in the right track. I can see maybe 22% that are less than 4, still okay. There's an opportunity for optimization here. I can 33% less than 6. I think that's maybe a little bit too much, because I know that there are ways, if you are migrating between platforms, you should be consolidating everything to maximum 1 or 2 systems, by the way. Because as soon as you do that, now you are removing internal friction, and now you can have full visibility without wasting your leadership time to do things that should be automated or done through a system. And then that will, of course, reflect on your back-end profitability as well. Okay, so moving to the next thing here is strategy, initiative, and challenge. I want to share with you kind of a quick case study of a client we have been working with, where they see that those are strategies, initiative, and channels that they have worked with. Just to be careful of time here, those, would you see here, basic, foundational, competitive, those were, where are they from an order management, from inventory, warehouse management, if they're in the basic versus foundation versus competitive and versus best in class. So just take a snapshot of this slide that can give you a visibility into how maybe you can bring digital transformation into your organization. Since we're speaking about the maturity assessment summary here, again, just as a reminder, you actually can do a quick assessment of your own organization using this online tool. So feel free again to use this tool to be able to do that. In closing, I just want to say This is what we covered today. First, we shared with everyone the 6 dimensions of frictionless commerce, the 4 barriers when you're planning before a commerce platform, and how to prepare for the future for retail and the unified customer experience. Bill, back to you.
Thank you, Seher. Very good job. Take a deep breath. We have some questions coming up. We're now going to begin answering questions from participants, and everyone can still submit text questions by typing your questions into the Q&A area, which is found at the bottom of your screen. First question is, where do you see brick and mortar versus e-commerce sales, say 5 years from now, Seher?
Of course, very, very, very good question, and very hard question to answer as well. I wish I can see to the future. I wouldn't be here. But I guess what I'm trying to say, what we have seen as digital transformation, that exactly as I said, Bill, you'd see a mix, you'd see a hybrid experience, where still some brick and mortar will be there, but you need to add to that an online experience. So think about the Instacart solution again. You can do everything online, and they want to still come to the store to do the picking. We've seen that actually, and this trend has been really increasing in North America over the last 6 months to 8 months, really increasing. So it's not fully going away, but it will adjust. We have seen kiosk coming in place. So think about a kiosk, and the kiosk is actually programmed, instead of a full retail, it's programmed to capture some of revenue, and this kiosk is connected with your ERP solution as well, for sure.
Excellent, thank you. What's the best allocation percentage of my technology stack to build a solution?
What we have seen is, if you are on 3 technology platforms, that's kind of the magic number. I want to hear 3. I'm really worried when I start hearing 4, 5, 6 and more, because this really means to me a couple of things. Higher maintenance of operating cost. If one platform is having a problem or patch upgrades, this means something might break. And if you really want positive friction with your consumer, that's a big challenge. So if you are in the 2 to 3, that's kind of the best. And we know there are a couple of platforms that truly can deliver on everything that I shared with the audience today.
Will the online assessment that we got the link to help me prioritize where to work on my digital transformation? What would I get out of that?
Absolutely. If you guys can the team see that, Bill? I just want to make sure. So it will help you understand where you are from a basic, foundational, competitive, and best in class, and actually it's designed to even look at some of your business process to be able to do that. And if more questions come up, I'm always here. I'm a Vistage member as well. Have been a proud member for 2+ years. So if there's more questions, definitely I'm here to help the team to maneuver through that for sure.
You mentioned in the poll question that 6 is too many and 3 is optimal. What do you typically see with a client that you work with?
We usually see clients who are at least at the 5 to 6. And the reason why they engage Flawless and Bound, because they really want to reduce that to the 2 and 3, but they want to do it the right way, not because one vendor is kind of just pushing them because there is bells and whistles and one vendor versus the other. So usually we have seen 60% are in the 5 to 6, and they really want to reduce it to 2 and 3. That's kind of what we have seen.
And how much has changed in the last few years with regards to systems? You have to kind of, like you said, duct tape them together, and now they come with API integration and other great systems.
You know what? What we have seen is some vendors learn that they have to play nice. That's the big thing right now, right? So you can't dominate with one platform. Let's all be honest here. And me also coming from technology and background for 9 years of my life, I was at Cisco Systems. So vendors start learning to play nice. That's the first thing. The second thing is some vendors actually want to take more, so they start adjusting their price. This had never happened before, Bill. So they start actually adjusting their price. And again, depending on the vendor that you speak to and the partner that you choose in your journey, in your digital transformation, if you pick the right partner, they can negotiate better for you, their contracts as well, because they can put pressure on the vendor, not just you as the client. The partner can actually do that. That's part of the partner value add in putting pressure on the vendor, getting you the right contracts, and making sure that we're not duct taping 3 or 4 different platforms that, hey, we're going to charge you millions of dollars to write code for. We know that there's a native integration. And we know that both vendors actually work nice together. That's back to change management and risk mitigation in digital transformation. And definitely we can help with some of that for sure.
Sahir, thank you so much for sharing your time and your invaluable knowledge with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Vistage. And thank you, everybody, for joining today and listening to me.
And thank you to our participants for joining us on today's session. Please complete the survey that pops up right after we finish. We appreciate your feedback. If you'd like to talk with Sahir and his team about your own challenges, you can indicate that in the survey. If you have not done so already and are a Vistage member, please take a moment to join the Vistage Wholesale and Retail Network or any of the many networks listed at vistage.com/networks. We look forward to your ongoing participation in all of our network activities. Thank you once again. This concludes today's webinar.